Welcome to J Weekly Canada. My name is Susan Minuk, and with me today is Sara Waxman. Hello, Sara.
Hello.
Hello. So, Sara, for 32 years, you were married to Canada's beloved film, TV, and stage actor, Al Waxman. So, is it true that in Winnipeg, you were with your mom and you were watching, I guess, some of Al's first films, and she was telling you about him, and then just 3 days later you meet him in person? And tell us
Yes.
what happened. It sounds like there's a history there, and I'm really curious on that first date.
I was watching TV movie with my mother, and it was on a Saturday night, and in 2 or 3 days I was all packed, ready to move to Toronto. And we watched this movie called The War Lover with Steve McQueen. And one of the characters was, his name was Gardner or something, I can't recall. And he was very nervous and very, sweet and nice. And he was always nervous that he was going to get killed. And he was a tail gunner in a plane. And he did get killed. And after the movie was over, my mother was very pensive. And she said, Sarah, in a war, the best boys get killed. And that was what she said, and so on. I come to Toronto. I call a friend of ours, a friend of mine, actually, who used to be in my crowd, and I had met his wife, who was from Toronto, so I called him to say, I'm here, and we met for lunch. He told me he was divorced, but his wife would love to see me. So we met for drinks at the Windsor Arms Club 21 or Club 22 or something like that. And then her boyfriend joined us, and they both said, wouldn't Al Waxman love to meet Sarah? Let's call him. So they went to the bank of phones. There was no cell phones then. And they called him. I don't know what they said, but he said, no, I'm not coming. I'm waiting for a long-distance call, because he had just made a film. So they said, we'll come over and meet you. So they went to the bank of phones. There were no cell phones there. And they called him. I don't know what they said, but he said, no, I'm expecting a long-distance call, and I'm not coming over. But you come here. So they said, okay. And they came back and said, I said, I am not going to some strange man's house who's an actor. Well, they convinced me that he was so nice and so on. So in the meantime, we went outside, and a big blizzard had come up. It was March. And we had to walk for 2 blocks. And I was not happy. My hair, my mascara, and we got there, and he opened the door, and he was standing there with this big smile of his, and he was wearing a green Perry Como sweater. You probably are too young to know what that is. And I just looked at him, and I said, my hands are cold, and I pushed right past him. So he took my hands in like this, like my father used to do when I was little. And then we got married and lived happily ever after.
So you clicked, absolutely.
Yes.
And did he know about your culinary expertise at that time? No.
We went out to see his movie that was playing at the cinema not far, and then we walked back to my apartment, and I was making dinner. We talked, and I made a steak, and he said, this is the best steak I ever had in my life. And then we got married.
I love it. I love hearing first stories and how you meet, and that is a beautiful story, and it's great that you remember everything.
I remember all the important things in my life.
I like that. I like that answer. So I wanted to talk about, I guess, Al's career. I mean, his sitcom. Let's start with that. The King of Kensington. Now, that was a real hit, and was drawing in 2 million viewers a week, and very successful. Why do you think people gravitated to this show?
Well, it was a different time. It was the early mid-70s. Problems were simpler. Nobody was really in a war yet, no countries. Solutions were simpler. The problems were the kind of problems that, everyone had. And he had a wife. He was Jewish. His wife was not Jewish, and she was trying to fit in. He had a kind of a mother who was a bit of a bigot. And the guys would come. There was an Italian. There was someone from the Caribbean. And they would just hang out, and it was real.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about that show, I was in Montreal, and I was on a press trip, and a woman was driving me around, and I couldn't speak French, and she was just kind of haughty,
Yeah.
And I said to her, my husband spent a lot of time in Montreal because he was doing films here. And she said, what was his name? I told her, and she pulled the car over.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, my father had a stroke, and he was in a wheelchair. And the only thing was, when King of Kensington came on, and the music started, he started to move and sing along, and he was so happy.
That's so inspiring, isn't it?
Other people say to me, my parents learned to speak English from watching that show.
Mm-hmm.
There are restaurateurs in Toronto whose parents came and lived in Kensington Market, from Portugal, from Italy, from different parts of the world. Their parents learned to speak English, and they too, when they shot the opening credits in Kensington Market, everyone felt this was our guy.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that.
People on TV shows, they come into your living room.
Mm-hmm.
You like them, and you continue to be with them in your living room, or you don't. And most people enjoyed Al. They enjoyed spending that half hour with him. And that's why there were 2 million people watching.
So he got so much fame real quick, which was deserved. How did he react to it, and how did you react to him?
We were delighted.
Of course.
We had money to pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
We went on trips.
Mm-hmm.
We lived a good life, because when I married him, he was unemployed in every field there was. He was an unemployed actor, unemployed director, unemployed writer, just unemployed. But I was working,
mm-hmm.
and we agreed the two can live as cheaply as one. But I knew that he had star power.
Yeah. When you know, you know.
Yeah. So when we got married, and at the Holy Blossom, we had about 15 people at our wedding. And how did we get married at the Holy Blossom?
Mm-hmm.
I had come from Winnipeg. I wasn't a member of a temple or a synagogue. Neither was Al. But I was working for Saturday Night Magazine. And the Rabbi Emeritus of the Holy Blossom had just written a book about Ho Chi Minh.
Mm.
He had gone and interviewed him, and he wanted Saturday Night Magazine to write about his book. So the editor, his name was Arnold Edinburgh,
Mm-hmm.
said, if you marry my assistant, I'll write about your book. That was the deal we made.
That's a great deal. What a great story.
Well, Al went to Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
We just bought a new house, moved into it, and the next morning he left. And he was extremely ambivalent about leaving me and the kids in the house. But I said to him, you go, you do what you have to do. I'll stay here, and I will look after things. Don't worry. Okay. Which I did.
Mm-hmm.
And, all of a sudden I was like a single parent most of the time. even though he did come back every couple of, every 2 weeks or so. And of course, me and the kids, we went to Los Angeles. But even in Winnipeg, my mother was involved with charities because we're Jewish. We
Of course, that's what we do.
That's what we do.
Yes.
So I was invited to be on the Cancer Society Fashion Show Committee, and then the Opera Ball Committee. I lived in Israel for a little while, and my dream was to be an opera singer, and I had studied toward that, and I sang with the Israeli Opera Company.
Wow.
But I did not want to make a career out of that. My career was to be a wife and mother. And
but you were so much more than that. You had
but because society pushed me toward that. I didn't want to be a writer or that kind of. I'll just interrupt myself and say, I was walking my little kids to a junior kindergarten in the fall. The leaves were crunchy. The dog was walking with us, and all of a sudden, I just got tears in my eyes, and the kid said, "Mommy, what's wrong?" And I said, "Children, all of my dreams have come true."
Oh,
and they did.
Yeah,
those were my dreams, and they had been fulfilled. But then you have other dreams.
Yeah, no, it's always important to
Yes.
have other dreams, and you
Yes.
really fulfilled many of them, it seems. I just want to get back to your charity work, because it was
Yes.
noted that that you were a life member of Hadassah, Pioneer Woman, and B'nai B'rith.
For the Sherrod Tzedek Hospital, asked us to be involved with them, and we did, and that's what we did. We went to Israel, as a matter of fact, and met with the heads of the hospital, lovely people. We were having dinner in a restaurant in Jerusalem called the Cow on the Roof. I don't know why I remember that, but I do. And I had not been feeling well, and I was really sick. And I said, after we finish dessert, do you mind if we go to the hospital? Because I'm not feeling well. So we went. A doctor saw me. He was an Arab doctor. I don't know. At Sherrod Tzedek. Turns out I was extremely dehydrated.
Yeah.
And he gave me opium tea to drink and gave me some to take home. And Al said to him, "If my wife wants to come back here tomorrow, you're in trouble." Because of the opium,
Yeah.
But it was interesting to me, the Sherrod Tzedek Hospital, that everyone who came to the hospital was looked after.
Right,
You didn't have to be Jewish and live in Jerusalem in a certain area or something like that.
Sarah, only months ago, the bronze statue that sits in Bellevue Square at the heart of Kensington Market was vandalized. And this was a deeply disturbing anti-Semitic act of a Jewish cultural icon. When this happened, please tell me how your family and yourself reacted.
Well, I was surprised, and first of all, and second of all, I was sad for Al, because he cared so much about everyone. It wasn't just in the show. He really cared. I mean, he'd put on a Santa Claus suit and go and give gifts to little kids, what the police were doing and all that. He cared about all the people who lived here, and he would travel across the country if invited for
So this is
sports,
a personal
thing.
attack.
And I was sad for him.
Yes.
That someone should insult him.
Yeah.
Never mind the fact that he was Jewish. It was the insult to the individual. And we and my son, my kids also. One of them said, "What would he have done?"
Yeah. What would he have done?
Which the son would have done,
Okay.
is meet the perpetrator and talk to him and ask him, "Why did you do this?" and have a discussion with him about the subject. Al might have wanted to do that. Or he might have wanted to meet him and punch him in the nose.
Yeah, really.
You know, you never know.
Did your son have an opportunity? Because they did catch the perpetrator.
Yeah, but he
No.
was not available for
Right.
for an afternoon tea. You know.
Yeah. No, but this is showing up now all too often, and it's very unsettling.
In my point of view is that kindness toward your fellow man is something that has kind of disappeared from the face of the earth. Like it's gone the way of the dodo bird.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, and I am not a politician or a philosopher. I only know that I have to look after my space.
Yeah.
And I am kind, and when I can do a kindness, I do so. Because it's tikkun olam,
Absolutely.
and I believe in that. It's not that I'm an orthodox religious person, but I do believe in tikkun olam. That is my standard.
And it's true that you, as a best-selling cookbook author, have distributed, from what I understand, your cookbooks, among other things, generously as
Yes.
just as a demonstration of tikkun olam and moving it forward.
Sometimes things happen, and I am the one who says, "No, I am going to look after this." Because I believe in justice and the right thing to do.
Well, those are admirable.
You know, I'm not
qualities.
looking for rewards.
So, Sarah, there are so many accolades we can talk about. I think the first one, the most recent, is your Order of Ontario.
Yes, I'm
So
very
we
proud of
we
it.
are going to watch a clip from that.
Oh.
Busy as she was, Miss Waxman devoted enormous time to a breadth of charitable causes, with each benefiting from her energy, enthusiasm, and networking abilities. Your Honor, Sara Waxman.
So, Sarah, describe the feelings when you received the award, and also, if you would, looking back on your illustrious career, for all the notable things you did, what is it that you were most proud of? The twofold question there.
I am most proud of the project called Al Waxman. As his wife,
Okay.
I was there for him. I did a lot to give him the confidence, and I looked after everything so that he could go and be what his destiny was. So
That's lovely.
I'm proud of that.
That's very lovely, because you, in your own right, let's just talk about the fact that you are a culinary expert, food and travel expert.
I never
journalist.
started out to be any kind of an expert. This was my hobby. It was
Okay.
my jobette, and it just became. I never dreamed that I would ever get the Order of Ontario for having a magazine that took Ontario cuisine with me all over the world in my travels, or that we wrote about it, or that I was a restaurant critic and was one of the 3 restaurant critics in the 3 newspapers in Toronto who pushed restaurants to do better and to find new things and to be better. I'm proud of all that, but I never thought that it was Order of Ontario material.
Well, obviously, the citizens, the country and city feel otherwise.
The thing is that we all felt that way. All of the scholars and the professors, everyone we met and had a cocktail, before the ceremony. Everyone was saying, wow, I never thought they'd choose me.
Congratulations on all your accomplishments. It was lovely, lovely chatting with you and getting to know you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've admired you from afar, and I'm excited to have this
Oh, good. I hope you enjoy it.